Before I start talking about this information, which in my opinion is bad news for Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War Zombies, I would like to say it is just a rumor, it is just a leak, it's coming from someone very reliable. This is of course Call of Duty Hope on Twitter, who is a member of the Cheeseburger Boys. They have very reliable leaks that are usually true, so I'm inclined to believe that this probably will happen, but of course we don't know for sure. There's a ton of reasons why this might not be true as well. I don't know. I'm just talking about the leak acting as if it is going to happen. I would like to say that I'm just not going to be that negative about it. Like, I'm really not, because I'm to the point now in my life where it's just not worth it to just be so negative about everything. But I like to be critical, because if I don't like something from a franchise that I mostly love, I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it because I want it to be as good as it can. And of course, I want changes to be made. Now, of course, it's just my opinion. I'm sure there's plenty of people who disagree with me, and that's fine. And at the end of the day, I think the developers should do what the majority wants. But in this case, this isn't what the majority wants. Instead, this seems like it's just a thing they kind of have to do based on a lot of development issues, because it has been rumored that Treyarch will be working on Call of Duty World War II Vanguard Zombies, which is coming out really, really soon. So the leak here is that basically Berlin is going to be the last round-based zombies map in Black Ops Cold War, and the map that was supposed to come after that has been moved to Vanguard. Does this remind you guys of anything? Yeah, kind of Black Ops 4 situation. Remember Black Ops 4 when they kept talking about, oh, there's going to be a second season of content, we're going to get all sorts of new maps coming, Black Ops 4, and then obviously that didn't happen because Treyarch was pushed to work on COD 2020 a lot earlier than they expected. They were obviously supposed to do COD 2021, and then things went to shit, right? So a lot of the content that they were working on for Season 2 of Black Ops 4, we kind of just assumed that maybe it would be ported over to Cold War. I don't think any of it has. I don't think that any of the stuff they were working on, which was mainly Chaos related and a few Ether remakes and such, I don't think any of that has come to Cold War yet. A lot of us still are speculating that Transit, Die, Rise, and Buried will come to Cold War at some point. But if this news is true, I'm going to go with the assumption that we're never going to get Transit, Die, Rise, or Buried even in this game. Maybe next Treyarch's game, maybe in World War II Vanguard, I don't know. But I don't think we'd even get it here. If this news is true, I'm just going to assume that the only content we're going to get for zombies, other than the next Berlin map, is going to be a couple more Outbreak locations, a couple more Outbreak Easter eggs, and a couple more Onslaught maps. And that's it for the next 6 months. That is pathetic. It's pathetic, it really is. Now, I love the developers there, I do. And I can't blame them for this when I know it's not really their fault. You know, they're just being pushed to make products a lot faster than they really can. But at the same time, I feel like there's a lot of solutions to this problem that would not be that hard to do, at least to my knowledge, right? So obviously we all want more round-based maps. That seems to be the popular consensus here. I like Outbreak. I think Outbreak's fun, but it's not as replayable as your normal round-based maps, at least in my opinion. I want more round-based content. I just do. That's what traditional zombies is all about. I would love to see some Outbreak stuff as well, and we are getting that. I think the Outbreak Easter egg was actually really fun. I'm really excited for the second Outbreak Easter egg. It's hard to care about Onslaught when more than half of the community can't even play it, so I usually don't even talk about Onslaught when I'm talking about content within the game, because it's just not really fair, because so many players can't even get access to it right now. And when it does come out, I'm still excited to play it, but at the end of the day, it just kind of just looked like you're just on multiplayer maps shooting zombies. I'm sure it has some replay value there, but it's still not original maps created specifically for zombies. Right now, we're 7 months into the life cycle of Black Ops Cold War, and we only have 2 maps. 2 original maps that are even not 100% original because they're mainly taken from assets of other games or other things within Black Ops Cold War. Like, of course, Firebase C has a lot of campaign locations within it, and of course, also D Machine is using some areas from Noct. Now, it's mostly a new map. I'm not gonna act like they didn't work on anything for the map, because they did a really good job with those maps in terms of how they look. There's a lot of stuff to them, right? Obviously not in terms of side quests and stuff, but in terms of actually putting work into them. It's similar to most maps we've seen before. Not as much as I would like to see, but similar to most maps we've seen before. But that's 2 maps within 7 months. And then you have Outbreak and Onslaught, which is all using multiplayer assets, essentially. There's really not a lot of original stuff other than a couple of boss zombies, and of course a couple of things within the Easter egg that they included in Outbreak, which again, I think is cool. But 7 months of just that it doesn't feel right. Now, again, what I said, the solution they can do is so obvious. There's multiple locations within Outbreak that they could use as round-based maps, multiple locations. This kind of reminds me of the same complaints multiplayer players have, because round-based zombies maps is almost similar in an analogy to 6v6 maps within regular multiplayer, right? There's a really large part of the community that is very just only into those modes, right? They only care about 6v6 multiplayer. They don't care about fire team or gunfight or any of that other stuff. They just want your traditional experience, which is 6v6. A lot of zombies fans are the same way. They don't really care about Outbreak or Onslaught. They just want those traditional, normal, round-based zombie maps, right? A compromise for this would simply be to use locations of those maps in other modes as well. And I've been saying Fireteam should be doing this. They should be using some of their locations as 6v6 maps. It would probably work just fine. They have done that for Combined Arms, which is kind of a good thing they did. How they use some locations of Combined Arms in 6v6, and even gunfight maps. You have Diesel. Diesel is a 6v6 map. It wasn't supposed to be. It was originally made as just a 2v2 gunfight map, but they decided to make it a 6v6 map because it works as one as well. And then there you go, now it's 6v6. Miami was also only in 6v6, but they said, screw it, let's put in Combined Arms as well because it works there. Why not do the same thing with zombies? Give us more content in multiple modes. Why not have a couple of the multiplayer maps that are in Onslaught? Why not port those over to all platforms, but as round-based maps, right? I don't think it's impossible. The only thing they would have to do for all these different things is, make it designed like regular zombies. Have doors, have mystery boxes, have pack-a-punch machine, maybe have little Easter eggs here and there as well. Nothing crazy, because again, development issues, they're not going to have all the time to do all this stuff. But little things like that, you have to obviously make the zombie spawns, I'm assuming. And I'm assuming a little bit more work goes into it than just that. I'm not saying this is a snap of the finger type solution, but I'm sure they can do this over the span of a couple weeks. We've also all been saying, why not get Nocturne and Toten as a survival map? There's tons of places in Outbreak's locations that can also work very well as a survival map. How about the bunker in the Easter egg? That bunker is huge. That bunker was massive. So many different locations in it. Why not make that a survival map? There's already zombie spawns designed within it, and you already have the perk machines and pack-a-punch located in different areas of the map. It would work perfectly as a normal round-based survival map, and it doesn't have to have crazy Easter eggs, although I would prefer they did, and I would still be complaining because look back to Black Ops 3, Black Ops 4, we had over 5 to 6 maps with full-on Easter egg quests in those games. And it doesn't help that the quests in this game are quite lackluster compared to the ones we've seen before. I know they're supposed to be easier because they want more people to be able to complete them, but I'm not even complaining about them being easy. That's not even the big complaint. It's just they're just lackluster. There's not much to them. They're fast, they're easy to do, and they don't have that much depth to them. That's my main complaint. I think Outbreak has some really cool parts in the last half of the Easter egg, don't get me wrong, but I'm talking about the round-based map so far. I still don't really like the Easter eggs in either of those maps. I don't think they're that replayable, and I don't have any reason to go back and do them. I think they were kind of interesting watching people speedrun them in the beginning, but then after like a week or two, you get bored of that and you don't want to see the map ever again, and I've not cared to do any of those Easter eggs ever again since then, but I still have a sort of a feeling of wanting to go back to Black Ops 3 and 4 to do some of those Easter eggs, because, I don't know, they just have more to them. They have more grandness and more epicness and just crazier experiences that you really can't get anywhere else. But a lot of the music being used and a lot of the stuff and assets being used within those zombie maps that we already have, you see in other places. You don't even have original music in zombies right now. The music is mostly just cut from campaign. There's a lot of original stuff there as well, don't get me wrong, but majority of it, like 90% of it, right from campaign. Go back to Black Ops 3 and 4, you had so much original music that was made specifically for those maps and added to the themes beautifully. That is my issue with Cold War Zombies right now. And this leak does not help that at all. This leak just makes it even worse, to the point where I really don't think this game is going to go down in history as a very good zombies game. Even if Outbreak's second Easter egg is amazing, even if Berlin's a fantastic map with a fantastic Easter egg, I'm assuming we'll get like a third Outbreak Easter egg maybe after that. Even if all of that goes to plan, even if we actually do get another round-based map after Berlin and it is a solid map, I still think I'm gonna sit around and be like, well, that still wasn't that much, it still wasn't as much as we get usually, and I think that's my issue. I think Outbreak is cool, but I don't really get why it's cutting into so much of what fans traditionally love about zombies, and I think that's my issue with it. I think the developers are doing a great job with a lot of stuff within zombies this year, don't get me wrong, but I'm just not a big fan of the type of content they're giving us in terms of numbers and in terms of the content within the maps themselves. They don't feel as replayable as they have been before. You know, I'm sure they're replayable for certain people. I see lots of people loving Cold War Zombies, and I'm happy for those people. Personally, I hop on it a little bit trying to, you know, get the Easter eggs done for the first couple times, and then after that, I don't really want to play it anymore. Maybe I'm growing out of it. I don't know. I really don't know. I was very excited to play World War II Vanguard Zombies. I still am very excited, but I have a feeling it's going to be basically just Cold War Zombies 2.0. Like, it's going to have the same exact mechanics, and it's already been leaked that it's going to have the same perks at least. So I'm assuming it's going to have the same story. Within the same universe, it's going to have, you know, a continuation of the story, maybe like a prequel or something because it's in World War II. But the fact that it's going to have like basically the same mechanics just kind of worries me a little bit. I'm sure it'll look really cool, you know, within the game. It'll be fun using different World War II weapons and such. But at the end of the day, if it has barely any new features and it's just like a carbon copy, I'm going to be quite obnoxiated. Obnoxiated? Is that even a word? I just came up with a new word on the spot. I'm leaving that in the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.